talked about hydration before, and if we had to guess, every one of us is walking around with a Stanley or Owala because you know the importance of hydration. But is there really more to know about hydration than just drink water?
We've had listeners send us a variety of questions over the past months. How do you stay optimally hydrated? Are electrolytes worthwhile? Can you get too many electrolytes? And are there certain periods when you could really benefit from more fluid and electrolytes? Perimenopause. So we decided it was time to answer them. Let's dive in.
Okay, I'm going to make a prediction. I think that we are going to record this episode about hydration. And remember the weighted vest situation when we were like, what's up with these weighted vests? And now they are everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that we are going to record this episode about hydration, and we're going to start to see it everywhere.
More questions.
More questions.
The topic's going to resurface
the topic
and be
like
it's trending up again. Hydration is
yes,
which is when we've noticed it. That's why we were doing this episode. We in the past, I guess 6 months, have just personally from followers or people we know, people who know we're dietitians and want to ask us some info. I've gotten more questions about different hydration things than normal. And I'm like, why is everybody interested in hydration again?
I know. And I don't think it's just because everybody's obsessed with water bottles.
No.
And the Stanleys, the Owalas, the whatever. Yeah. They are legitimately asking about.
And they're interested in a bad thing, but it's just been interesting to me to see all these questions surface. It's like another round of hydration interest has come. But we got some really good questions. We've gotten a lot of questions. So we kind of filtered through and narrowed them down. And we've got some really good questions. Some of them that we needed to look into.
Yeah.
They're not your typical dehydration or hydration questions. I'll tell you that.
Correct. Yes. So we styled the whole episode in a Q&A format.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't actually know how many questions we ended up with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we got 10-ish questions, give or take.
Yeah.
All right. We ready to dive in?
Yeah. Okay. So question number 1, can you drink too much water?
This one's you, Carolyn. This one is you.
Yeah. So this is one we talk about in my Nutrition 101 class. Yes, you can. But it's not the excess of water that itself that is harmful. What happens is when you drink too much water, it dilutes the sodium in your blood, in your fluid volume. And that causes a condition known as hyponatremia, where your sodium is very, very low. But this is not... You're not going to drink too much water just walking around with your water bottle every day. That's not going to happen. Where you see too much water and it is drinking too much water and it is actually dangerous is with the occasional, and we hadn't heard about one of these in a while, but I do remember there were some instances with fraternity hazing. And they made these guys drink just huge amounts of water. And I think maybe there was one guy that died. They just made him drink so much water. But on a day-to-day basis, our body is smart and kind of has protective mechanisms in place. We're going to stop drinking water. We're going to be throwing up water. You have to force that water down to get to a level where it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge amount you'd have to drink. But yes, technically you can drink too much water. But not... You're going to feel so sick from water, you're not going to continue drinking water so that your body can get to a state where it's dangerous.
Yeah. I think the other place that you see hyponatremia being a problem is in your untrained athletes who are losing a lot of electrolytes through their sweat, and they're not rehydrating they're only rehydrating with water. Yeah. They're not using anything else.
So you're sweating out electrolytes, specifically sodium. You're sweating out fluid and electrolytes, but specifically sodium. And so then if you sweat a lot, and then you just drink plain water to rehydrate, well, again, that's causing your sodium level. You're adding water, but you're not adding sodium too, and that's causing your sodium level to get low, and it can lead to hyponatremia too, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question. What happens when you drink plain water and you're peeing all day? Like, are you actually hydrated?
I love this question.
Same.
Because I never stopped to consider this until, 7 to 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I used to be the one who drank plain water all day long and was running to the bathroom like once an hour.
Yeah.
And it was so annoying.
Yeah.
And I thought I was doing exactly what I needed to do. And in hindsight, I don't think that plain water was hydrating me.
No. So the short answer is you're probably not hydrated unless or you could be better hydrated.
Yes. Here's the thing, if water's going straight through you, like it evidently was going straight through me.
Yes.
Then your body's not absorbing it like it should be.
Right.
You're
And
getting
so
some, but yeah.
the value of the electrolytes, or even if you combine it with food, the value of those electrolytes is it helps your body hold on to that fluid.
Yeah. So we bring up electrolytes because I think we both realized when we started adding an electrolyte powder to our daily routine.
Yes.
We both realized, oh my gosh, I don't think we're ever fully hydrated.
Right.
We're really optimally hydrated because your body requires some electrolytes in order to properly absorb and use that water.
Yeah.
And so when we were just drinking plain water all day, it literally, a lot of it was just running straight through us.
Yeah. Well, and especially too, whenever we are really dialed in on intermittent fasting. So if you think about let's say you're not eating until lunchtime and you're drinking water in the morning. I mean, what is in your, you're not putting anything in there with that water to help you hold on to it.
Yeah.
So
water and electrolytes go hand in hand. Like they've got to have each other, and your body can't fully use the water that you drink if you don't have the proper concentrations of electrolytes.
yes.
Yeah. So I love this question because this is something that never dawned on me until later in life, and it was actually another dietitian that pointed it out, and she was like, your water's just going straight through you.
Yeah. And it's not to say that people are dehydrated if they're drinking plain
No.
water. It's just that I think the word you used was optimally hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I think that's the perfect way to describe it. So
Yeah.
now the next question is what are electrolytes and why are they important? So we've already dabbled in some of them. So sodium, potassium, those are the two main ones that I feel like you hear about. Magnesium is another. Then there's chloride, calcium, phosphate, and bicarbonates.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of electrolyte powders you're going to see have sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Then you're going to get some chloride because that's going to come through the vehicle of sodium chloride, potassium chloride. You are not usually going to see calcium in there.
You may see some phosphate.
You may see some
It may be
phosphate.
paired with potassium phosphate or something or magnesium phosphate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by and large, we get enough phosphate generally, in our diets. Typically, it's not a problem for Americans.
Here's the other thing I want to point out because we kind of jumped straight into electrolyte powders. Electrolytes are minerals, or electrically charged minerals, and so technically, the average person could get all the electrolytes they need through food by eating a healthy diet.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's how it used to be. There are some people out there now who say because our soil and water has been stripped of, or particularly our soil has been stripped of minerals because we haven't really taken care of it and done the proper planting methods, that kind of thing, to restore minerals in there. There's some that say we get a lot less of things like magnesium and potassium and other electrolytes in our food supply now.
Compared to what we used to.
But in theory, you can get it all from a healthy diet. So when we talk about electrolytes, we're talking about in addition what you get from food. And I think that's important to point out because you are getting some from food, and I think some people forget that you are getting some.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. No, that's a really good point.
But electrolytes, they play a role in energy metabolism.
Yep.
We all want more energy metabolism. Fluid balance, the communication between cells. It affects your muscles. It affects your energy levels.
Mm-hmm.
Electrolytes don't directly give your body energy, but it definitely plays a role in making all those reactions occur so that you can get that energy.
Exactly. And also with the nerve signaling as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, they don't. Sometimes people will say oh, drinking my electrolyte water, gives me more energy. That's not a direct.
Well, it's like people
thing.
saying taking a multivitamin gives me energy.
Yeah.
No, not directly.
No.
Maybe indirectly, possibly, but not directly.
Yes, exactly. It helps with so many basic life functions. And also though, being hydrated also helps with things like having more energy, feeling more focused. Those are, it's kind of the combination of the two.
So you've got to have those key electrolytes that you mentioned earlier in the proper function, in the proper ratio. Sorry,
Yes.
I don't even know where that word came from.
Yeah.
Function. If any of them get imbalanced or you have high or low levels of different ones, then it can be life-threatening. Like we were talking about hyponatremia. If sodium gets really, really low because you have an excess of fluid, that is life-threatening. Like you are hospitalized, it's life-threatening if any of those get out of balance. But in general, getting your electrolytes from food as well as an electrolyte powder that's properly designed, they are in proper balance for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
good strategies for consuming electrolytes other than food and how to stay more properly hydrated.
That was a question that we got. I think it's a great question. Can you provide good strategies for how to consume water plus electrolytes?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is what our recommendation is. This is our opinion. There are multiple ways that you could go about this.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you talked about the combination of water plus food.
Yeah.
To get the electrolytes that you might need.
Yeah. I have found that I need a little more than that.
I would agree. Same.
Or more electrolytes than that.
Yes.
And that I feel best when I take more electrolytes. And so this probably won't surprise people, but we are big. I think both of us kind of started around the same time, maybe about 5 years ago now. Gosh. We are both big fans of electrolyte powders and drink them daily. It's the first thing I drink in the morning, even before I get coffee.
Yes. Same for me. And I don't know. I'm curious. I know why I drink it. I drink it first because from a health standpoint, we've talked about my health issues here, my pelvic floor issues. So I need to put something else in my system before I douse my body with caffeine and coffee. Just from straight up bladder, pelvic floor. I need something more neutral in there. So that's why I start with my electrolyte water first. Not all of it, but I drink probably a cup version of it.
I wake up thirsty. We'll talk about why in a question
minute
or two. I wake up thirsty and I crave it in the morning. And it's not like I crave the flavor. I crave the hydration. I don't know. I crave the hydration, and it's a hydration that I don't necessarily get from water.
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah. It's. I know that probably makes no sense to people who've never tried electrolyte powder, but I can't. I don't want anything else to drink before I've had my electrolytes and water.
Well, I think you can equate it to the same way that people crave coffee when they wake up in the morning. You know what I mean?
True.
It's you're.
But we both drink coffee.
We both drink coffee. We do. Although you were drinking less coffee these days, and I made a comment this weekend that if you were such a infrequent coffee drinker when we first became friends, I don't know that we would still be friends.
I know.
Anyway, okay, I digress.
You wouldn't have trusted me.
So exactly.
Well, and I also like, so I like how the powdered electrolytes in water make me feel hydration-wise. But I also like that there are some really good companies out there now that are doing it right. I like Ultima. You like Element. But I'm going to tell people it's the letters LMNT.
Yep.
Okay, if you're looking for it. I like those companies because they have done their research and they are putting these electrolytes in proper balance to one another.
Correct.
And they're also considering what you're getting from food, like the sodium that you're getting from food as well. So it's important that you have that ratio right.
Yep.
And so I feel really good getting it from a powder from one of these companies. I feel like I can trust that it's in proper balance.
Yes. The other thing too, so like Element is saltier than Ultima. And I not only do I like the flavor of it, but for the amount of sweat that I'm sometimes losing, I think like that additional sodium is like good for me.
Yeah. Yes. I'll have to tell people Element is very salty.
Yes. I have had people say who have not had it before and they try it, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just like bit into, like, if you go with the grapefruit run, like bit into a grapefruit like in an ocean. You know, it is salty and some people really, really don't like it.
But let me say, this is different than just drinking Element with a higher sodium ratio or a higher amount of sodium this is different than eating a food that's really salty because maybe you're getting a little extra sodium in that, but the rest of the electrolytes are balanced.
Right.
So you've got potassium there to balance the higher intake of sodium. That's what you don't have from high sodium foods.
Correct. Exactly.
So it's not necessarily dangerous. Like,
right.
Your blood pressure doesn't go up.
Right. So
I'm not saying that's for everybody, but
because you're getting the potassium in there, it's in a ratio that they've designed intentionally.
Yeah.
You're also getting magnesium. You don't get a ton of magnesium, but you get enough. Yeah. You get I would say you get like a little bit. I still take a magnesium supplement, but you get some magnesium in there as well. And then you get the chlorides, which is great. So
they're also like, it is not safe to take like sodium tablets like they used to give athletes.
Right. Yeah.
That's like eating a high sodium food. That's not good. That's why another reason why we're such big proponents is these powders, because they're in the proper balance to keep each other in balance.
Yes.
Exactly. And to keep things running like they should.
The other reason why the other reason that I really like adding powdered electrolytes to my water is that flavored water definitely can encourage some people to drink more. There is research on that. Mm-hmm. And
that was part of how they developed Gatorade.
Yes.
Yeah, the flavor, but also, the sodium in it made athletes keep wanting to drink.
Yes.
Whereas plain water, when you're really sweaty and your heart, sometimes that's harder to get down.
Right. And I think that it's very much a personal choice. Some people say, like, I have no problem drinking plain water, or some people really like to drink, like, a carbonated water.
Well, and let's make this clear. We still drink plain water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, we don't just drink electrolyte powder and water all day long. I usually make a big glass, and I think you do too, like in the mornings. We sip on it all morning.
Yep.
Of the electrolyte powder in the water. And then, typically I switch to just plain water after that. Now, sometimes in the afternoon, like if I'm just kind of in a lull or need energy or just thirsty and I'm sick of water, I'll make another one.
Yeah.
Of the electrolyte powder and water.
Yeah, like I saw you make one last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were kind of like, you were getting a little tired.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite time to like wind down for the night. And you were like, all right, I'm done with this other stuff and I'm going to go make myself an electrolyte water.
Yeah.
All right. So then the next question, this one came in, and I think it's a great question. Can you quote unquote thin out the electrolytes?
Yeah.
Yes.
You just don't put as much powder in your water.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's fine. You're still getting all electrolytes. Some of them, you're getting a smaller amount, but you're getting them in the proper ratio. And I think that's what's key.
Right. Exactly. It's the ratio part. It doesn't matter if you put it in 40 ounces of water. It doesn't matter if you put it in 12 ounces of water. Like, that's a personal choice. But yeah, I mean, thin it out. Go for it.
Well, and we've also had people ask, or one friend in particular said, can I consume too much
Yeah.
electrolyte powder
Yeah.
and water? And I'm sure you can, but again, it goes back to the ratio thing, because you're getting a proper. Where you get into trouble with electrolytes is if one gets way out of balance.
Yes.
And then it throws the others way off.
Yep.
When you're getting the proper ratio and you're consuming water with it, you're
Yes.
mixing it with water, you're getting the fluid and you're staying in the right ratio. So I feel like this poses a lower risk for issues occurring, even if you consume a good bit. Now, I mean, still consume your other beverages during the day. But
yes. I would say I've had 2 experiences, and I know other people who have as well, that might happen if you overdo it. But here's the thing, your body is going to tell you. So like that's it's not like you're going to be doing serious damage. Like your body's going to tell you that you might have gone a little overboard. Yeah. And so the 2 things I've had is, one, I've had some like fluid retention, but again, I drink a high sodium, like electrolyte powder, what I would consider a high sodium. And so I can tell, like, if I've not necessarily sweated out enough sodium, like I'm a little bit more puffy, right? Yeah. The other one is sometimes it will go right through me. Not that I'm going to go pee, but I'm going to go otherwise. And I think that it's probably from like my body just maybe didn't need that.
Yeah, your body's maxed out on fluid and electrolytes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's neither one are detrimental. It's just kind of like, okay, note to self, I've probably capped out.
Yeah. So another good question is, like, are electrolyte powders just as good as sports drinks?
Look, I am not a sports drink person. So this again is our personal recommendation as dietitians. I would much prefer an electrolyte powder plus water.
And I like the taste better.
Yes. And then refuel, like get my glycogen stores back up using food immediately afterwards. Because
your sports drinks, your typical ones are going to have glucose in them.
Yes.
A source of carbohydrate. So you are getting a source of calories.
Right.
From your sports drinks.
Yep.
And most of your electrolyte powders have a small bit of stevia in them to sweeten them slightly. So you aren't getting those extra calories, which is, I like that that's what allows you to be able to drink electrolyte powders, or most of them, the 2 that we use, while you're fasting.
Yep,
exactly. Doesn't break your fast. So,
also some people, and I happen to be one of them, where a sports drink, when consumed while exercising, can really do a number on my stomach. And so for me, it's just better to have food afterwards than it is to try and consume it while I'm working out.
Well, and you got the dyes too. And sports drinks, which I wonder what's going to happen with those.
Yeah.
Like, will we have just plain colored Gatorade now?
Or
if we have to pull out the dyes?
It might not be so bright.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Okay. Outside of working out, are there certain times when you could benefit from additional fluid and electrolytes?
I mean, this is a great question. And because of the nature of where we are in life, we zeroed in on one particular stage of life.
But there are 2. There's 3 we're going to focus on. But I mean, there's one that we're going to focus on in particular. But there are 2 other times. We already mentioned one, like fasting.
Right. Yep.
Electrolytes can be great to supplement the water that you're already drinking. They kind of reduce my hunger. Kind of can help me kind of get over.
I agree.
The last few hours. If you are following a low-carb diet or like a keto diet, because most of your electrolytes naturally found in food are going to be in your carbohydrate-rich foods. So if you're cutting those out, then electrolyte and electrolyte powder with your water is really good.
Yeah.
But the third reason, or the third time, is during perimenopause and menopause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I mentioned that I wake up thirsty.
yeah. Why is that, Carolyn? Why do you wake up thirsty?
I'm having more night sweats, which are essentially just hot flashes that occur at night. And I will wake up like drenched. I'm losing water.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm losing electrolytes too. And you've got to accommodate for that. That increases your hydration needs.
Yeah.
But what I found when I looked into it, I was like, why does it making me more thirsty? So your progesterone and estrogen, which start to fluctuate during perimenopause, their changes in them can affect hydration by disrupting fluid and electrolyte balance in the body. And so it can cause fluid and electrolyte imbalances, which can potentially lead or exacerbate dehydration. And when we get dehydrated, as we are getting older, it is harder for our body to bounce back from that dehydration and find like that fluid electrolyte homeostasis, which is lovely. But on top of that, dehydration, so perimenopause may be leading to some dehydration and electrolyte imbalances. But on top of that, that dehydration can increase the intensity of your hot flashes and your night sweats.
It is a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword.
Yes. So, because you got to think fluid, one of the main purposes in your body is to regulate the temperature. And so if all that's off, and you're having hot flashes too, which hot flashes occur because it's a vasomotor, your body just is less able to regulate your body temperature.
Right.
It's more sensitive to temperature changes. And so anyway, they just build on one another. But it did I was like, wow, that's why I'm walking around thirsty, even though I've been drinking stuff, or I'm waking up thirsty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because your body is doing its own thing while you're sleeping.
Yep.
Yeah. So the other thing too and we've talked about this in previous episodes, is as you get older, especially in older adults, your sense of thirst, I can't think of the right phrase, but your sense of thirst deteriorates, it declines. So going back to like the recovering from dehydration as you get older, it gets harder. It also, like that particular older adult age group is a great group to really also consider electrolyte powders.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Because that's, like we said, plain water can only hydrate you so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, this was fun.
I know. I learned some stuff. And I thought these were fun questions. Kind of your not so typical ones.
And I love when we get questions.
Yes.
That is also the really fun part about all of this.
I really do too.
So, thank you for sending us questions. Send us more, and until next week.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for the Happy Eating Podcast. I'm Brierley Horton.
And I'm Carolyn Williams. If you liked this week's episode, then don't forget to rate and leave us a review on iTunes. And be sure to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss a new episode.
We can't wait to have you back at our table next week for a brand new episode. Bye.
The contents discussed in the Happy Eating Podcast, such as advice, studies, text, graphics, images, and other material discussed or presented on the site or podcast, are for informational purposes only. Content is not intended to be a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your mental health professional or other qualified health providers with any questions you may have regarding your condition. Never disregard professional advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on the Happy Eating Podcast.
If you are in crisis or think you may have an emergency, call your doctor or 911 immediately. If you're having suicidal thoughts, call 1-800-273-TALK, that's 8255, to talk to a skilled trained counselor at the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you are located outside the United States, call your local emergency line immediately.